Hello Vault Heads, this is the self-proclaimed, sarcastically named Captain KeyForge, also known as PJ Broughton of the Steel City Snufflegators. And welcome to the latest episode of Captain's Compod. Today we are going to talk about the freshest and newest KeyForge Adventure, which is the Abyssal Conspiracy. It was released about a week and a few days ago. So relatively new, just like the last KeyForge Adventure. All the components are free to download for print and play at home format. So yeah, we're going to talk about that today. So for the Abyssal Conspiracy, the story so far, the Kraken has been vanquished, but it is not the only threat. While the Archons defeated the mythical beast, a red-eyed member of the Vortexilon's crew sabotaged the ship, gloating that the remaining seals would soon be opened and that their resonance would spread throughout the Crucible. The villain escaped justice and fled into the ocean. Captain Fermi has returned to the ship to the surface for repairs, but so many questions remain. Where did this villain come from? What seals are being opened and by whom? Will the Archons ever catch a break? Fortunately, Merkins has some answers. He found a whisper conch left behind by a cultist and was able to hack the cultist telemessaging system. Through it, he has learned about the seals that the Worldbreaker cult is opening. The cult made, or found or captured, a sonic device called the Vault Binder, which is the key to open the locks that hold back a resonance from another world. The cultists no longer need the Vault Binder to open the remaining seals, but the artifact could be found. A key can also lock what it can unlock. Clearly, the Kraken's release was only a piece of some larger conspiracy. The cult's ranks are growing with evil twins from another dimension, and the cultists clearly do not want the crew of the Vortexilon to get in their way. Unfortunately for them, the Archons are coming to find the Vault Binder and to put an end to their schemes. So it directly accedes to the Kraken, so it comes directly afterwards. Also as well, it mentions specifically evil twins, and in the card pool you'll see that there are some evil twins, and yeah, the point of this is to uncover what's happening there. Okay, so in this, you take player turns. During a player's turn, they follow all the rules described in KeyForge rulebook regarding choosing a house, playing and discarding using cards, readying cards, and drawing up to a 6-card hand. However, players ignore the first turn rule, which restricts the first player from playing more than one card during their turn, and the Forge a Key step operates differently in this KeyForge Adventure, because forging a key is replaced with moving between locations. Okay, players may use their cards and abilities as normal during their turn. If a creature is used to fight any creature in a conspiracy battle line at the same location, even if that creature is engaged with a different player. Engaged creatures are assigned to be at a greater depth. So, again, it's like playing KeyForge. You skip your Forge a Key step, but you have the opportunity to move between a location when you do that. Okay, so that's what happens there, and we'll learn a little bit more about it in a moment. Now, engaged creatures. Unlike in standard KeyForge, in this adventure, each player has a distinct enemy battle line that exists above their normal battle line. When a player draws a creature card from the adventure deck, that creature is played on the right flank of the player's enemy battle line. So, in the Kraken, the battle line is the same for both players. The Kraken just has one big, large battle line that is used against player 1 on player 1's turn and player 2 on player 2's turn, and if there's a player 3 against player 3. In this one, when you are drawing the cards, if you have multiple players, player 1, when they draw cards, any creatures go against them on their battle line. Player 2, when they draw cards, any creatures go against them on their battle line, and each player has their own individual battle line, so the creatures don't get to sort of gang up and then start to hit. All the creatures that are out there don't get to hit player 1. The creatures against player 1 go for player 1, the creatures against player 2 go for player 2, and not all of them cumulative going after player 1 and then going after player 2 like you'd find with a key Racken. Now, we talked a little bit about locations a moment ago. There are 9 locations in this KeyForge Adventure in a 3x3 square. 3 at depth 1, 3 at depth 2, and 3 at depth 3. Okay, and now you move between locations instead of forging a key. Okay, when a player would forge a key during their forge a key step, as well as any time a card effect instructs the player to forge a key, like key charge, they may move to another location instead. That player may move to the location directly above or below their current location, or to one of the other 2 locations at their current depth. To move to a location of the same depth or deeper, a player must spend amber. If they cannot spend the requisite amber to move to the desired location, no amber is spent, they do not move to that location. The cost is modified by card effects that modify key costs. Forging a key at cost requires the player to spend the requisite amber to move to the desired location. Okay, so if you ascend and move upwards, it costs nothing. If you ascend at the same level, it costs 2, and if you descend to a different level, it costs 4. Okay, so that is going to bring me on to conspiracy turns. During the conspiracy turns, the conspiracy performs several steps that mirror the steps of a player's turn. It attempts to open a seal instead of attempting to forge a key. And then the active player draws and uses adventure cards. To resolve the conspiracy's turn, the active player follows these steps. Okay, 1. The conspiracy opens a seal if available. Okay, at the start of the conspiracy turn, it attempts to open a seal by spending amber from its amber pool. Each seal has a unique cost as indicated on the seal tableau, beginning at 2 amber per seal for the first seal and scaling up to 6 by 1 amber at a time. So it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because the seal is a pentagram, so there are 5 seals and the key cost is modified each time. If all 5 seals are open, the player loses the game. So essentially the point of the game for the conspiracy is to spend amber to open the 5 seals. As I say, the first one costs 2 amber, then 3, 4, 5, and the final seal costing 6. There is a 5-card seal deck from which the seals are drawn, and each time a seal is opened, the top card of the seal deck is revealed. Okay, so seals are a brand new card to both KeyForge and this KeyForge Adventure, and they are seals. The 5 seal cards represent the seals that the conspiracy is attempting to open. Seal cards are a new KeyForge card type. Just as players spend ember to forge keys, the conspiracy spends ember during its turn to open seals and place them on the seal tableau token. Opening seals is described in greater depth a little bit later on. But there are different seals, such as the Burning Seal. After this seal is opened, lower the tide and deal 1 damage to each of your team's creatures for each open seal. So that is one of the 5. Obviously, I mean, 1 damage isn't horrendous. It's unlikely to wipe out your entire squad, but it would be nasty, certainly for taking off wards. But also as well, I'll say this, these are at random, so you never know which one you're going to get. You know, you can get them in any order, and as I say, they all do different things. So the Burning Seal does damage. Okay, also as well, another example, the Primal Seal. After this seal is opened, lower the tide. So they all seem to be lowering the tide, and give +1 power counter to each creature engaged with a player for each opened seal. Also as well, they seem to have a cumulative effect, a bit like the shards did in Age of Ascension, where if you had 1 shard down, it was whatever the card effect was for 1. If you had 2, it was whatever the card effect was for 2 damage or capture 2 or whatever, or 2 power counters. And equally, again, if you had all 3 shards, you would get the effect on the card times 3, whether it's capture 3, 3 power tokens, 3 stuns, 3 damage, whatever. So they seem to have a cumulative effects. We've got damage, we've got power. Those are a couple of examples. Also, as well, we've got the Arcane Seal as a third one. I'm not going to go through all 5, to be fair, but you can get them off the internet if you want to. And to be honest, I'm very sure that a lot of you are probably going to give this a go. But yeah, another example: Arcane Seal. After this seal is opened, lower the tide, and each player discards 1 random card from their hand for each open seal. That would be nasty if it was the penultimate one. Discard 4 cards. Woohoo! Yeah, but we've got to have a bit of dis-like card effects in there. So that's a little taster of the seals. 3 out of 5 of them red. As an example, damage, discard. So yeah, that is that for you. Now, winning or losing. Well, we've already discussed how the conspiracy wins. It wins by opening up these 5 seals. So players win this adventure by stopping the conspiracy of evil twins. This is done by collaboratively searching the upper 6 locations for the Vault Binder artifact, using it at the Titan's Gate location at the bottom of the Crucible's Ocean, so that's one of the 3 bottom locations, and spending amber to permanently put an end to the conspiracy's plot. Players do not forge keys in this adventure. However, the conspiracy does not sit idly by while players undertake this search. During the game, the conspiracy gains amber by reaping with creatures and resolving card abilities. Okay. Each time the conspiracy takes a turn, it attempts to open a seal, spending its amber and resolving the dangerous seal effect, and should all 5 seals be open, the players lose the game. So that is a brief summary, not too brief, but still reasonably brief, of how KeyForge Adventure number 2, the Abyssal Conspiracy, is going to work. So again, it will have its own deck, just like the Keyraken did. You will draw cards from it. If you're playing solo, every creature that comes out is going to fight you. If you're playing 2 players, you will each have your own distinct battle line. And I like this effect of there are locations, and you have to move between the locations to find the specific card that you're after. I mean, there are times where you're going to be really lucky and possibly find this Vault Binder quite early, and get lucky with it and possibly find the location to use it early. But equally, there are times where you're not going to be quite as lucky. So I think it sounds really interesting. It certainly sounds different than the Keyraken as well, because the Keyraken is just racing to the surface, trying to forge keys, and you're just trying to kill it, destroy its arms, destroy it as a whole. Whereas with this, you have a battle line, and it's going to be impeding you, but you can't try and slow that. The only way you can slow the conspiracy down in this is by stealing amber from them, but you can't raise the tide like you could against the Keyraken to force the seals to cost more. Equally, constantly fighting against it is going to do you no favours. You need to be moving from location to location as quickly as possible to find the artifact that will win you the game. So I'm looking forward to playing this one. I did have the Keyraken on stream. I'm likely to have this one on stream as well. So look out for that. But yeah, as ever, we've got the comments. You can like, you can subscribe, you can get through to me on Facebook, on Twitter, on email. I'd love to hear what you think of it, whether you've played it, if you enjoyed it, pros, cons, ups, downs, and thank you for staying with me through another episode of Captain's Compod. Your company is appreciated, and may the forge be with you.